Okay, we're live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kristin Eggerling with the Northwest Minnesota Arts Council. I'm the promotion specialist, and we're doing an artist spotlight this afternoon with Shawna Grapentine. And she's our featured artist in our exhibit at our gallery at Northland Community and Technical College in Thief River Falls. The exhibit's called Immersed in Color, Inspired by Culture. I'll let Trey introduce himself and then Shawna can talk.
Yeah, so I'm Trey Everett, and I'm the showcase specialist with the Northwest Minnesota Arts Council. And I primarily work with the gallery that we have in Thief River Falls at Northland Community and Technical College. Yeah, and so we have an exhibit up that opened in the beginning of October, and then it will conclude at the end of this month, November. And our featured artist we have with us, Shawna. So thanks for being here, Shawna. And could you tell us just a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your artwork?
For sure. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Shawna Grapentine. I am the owner and artist of Moon and Back Custom Arts. I'll like to say that my journey started quite a few years ago. Of course, when I was a little girl, I always loved artwork and painting and whatever I could get my hands on and being creative. In 2010, I was in my early 30s and decided to register my own custom art business. I had gained enough confidence thinking that, okay, I should legitimately start my career as an artist. And by registering an artist name, that was my feeling of, okay, I'm going into this, and let's see where things go. I grew up in a very small town in northern Manitoba, 2.5 hours northeast of Winnipeg, right along the shores of Lake Winnipeg. So a lot of what I paint, it's not necessarily realistic images that looks exactly like a photograph. There's a lot of bright colors, but a lot of the scenic pictures relate to home memories as a childhood, the lake, nature, things like that. I was influenced by my parents, my grandparents, growing up. I guess a while back, being creative, we didn't have a whole lot of paints and canvases and things like that. So we had to be creative in many other ways. Whether it was using stuff from the outdoors, gathering bits and pieces, it might have been cardboard boxes or, recycled materials from various things. And my mother was excellent at being creative and getting us kids involved. And I am the middle child of seven siblings. So I guess that was her way of keeping us busy and not driving her crazy a lot of the times. So it's something that has always been a part of me. I did not take a whole lot of education for my artwork. I always had the dream of being a mom and a wife. And of course, that started at the age of 25 for me, being married at 25, and my son Thomas at the age of 27. And over the years of just being a mom and a wife and being a member of the community and volunteering where I can, artwork was always kind of a side gig for me and helping provide and maybe bringing in a little bit of extra income. So it's definitely evolved over the years, and I'm very proud of my accomplishments. And, I did attend Frontier School Division, which was a school located on my home reserve community back home, Hollow Water. And we did not have a full-time art program. So the school and the division did a wonderful job of bringing talented people in and basically just sharing their talent and whatever they were good at. And whoever was interested got to join in the classes. So I picked up a lot of tidbits along the way, and like anything else, it was practice, trial and error, and finding my own sense of style and what pleased me and made me happy and being creative. So that's kind of how it all evolved. And then when my son was born, and I decided to register my business, you know, thinking of the business name and where I was going to pull a name from. I had a bunch of ideas, and I remembered this children's story book that I shared with my son, I Love You to the Moon and Back. So the name of my business is Moon and Back Custom Arts, and it just stayed. When I designed my website, the designing company almost thought that we should change it, switch it up. And then after they did a little research and I sent them a bunch of photos, told them my story, they said, no, let's not change it. It's great. It's who you are. And that's kind of how it evolved and where it all started.
Awesome. Yeah. And so you mentioned that you'd use a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the title of the exhibit is Immersed in Color, Inspired by Culture. And so when people walk into the exhibit, they'll see that about half of the exhibit is your work. Two of the larger walls have your work on it. And can you just say just a little bit about the work, your work that's in this exhibit?
Absolutely. So a lot of the bright colors I feel is just something I've always gravitated to, anything with bright colors. I feel being able to express myself and being open-minded to creating these pieces from memories or the culture. So I am Cree and Ojibwe from Manitoba, Canada, and part of the history in my family and my grandmother attending a day school, I feel it was a tough day and age for her and other family members, and being Indigenous or Native growing up in that era was not something that was to be proud of. So I feel that there was a lot of lost culture within my family in regards to traditional dance and various things, arts, you know, the beading, the language, most importantly. None of that was passed down. And some of the pieces that are there in the exhibit is pieces that I hold near and dear to my heart. You know, something that I wish that I could have learned, not to say that I still can't, and hopefully, you know, I'll make the time to learn traditional dance and educate myself more on my own culture and who I am. That's the goal, right? So there is a piece there that honors the residential and boarding school survivors. And there's also a piece there to commemorate the murdered missing Indigenous women and girls. And they are, you know, two initiatives that I just support and hold near and dear to my heart. And, you know, if I could share that with the world and have the conversation and help educate and learn together, that's, you know, I'm proud to do that. So, and then the other pieces, the scenic pictures are memories from back home and who I am. So I like to think that painting and it's, you know, it allows me to show people, I guess, really get inside who I am. So like anything, music, you're opening yourself up for the whole world. And the bright colors are not for everybody, but it's my way of bringing some sunshine in and happiness, different feelings that people feel when they look at the art pieces, and whether, you know, it's, I'm proud of them, very proud of them.
Awesome.
This isn't what I was going to ask, but it just when you were just talking about that, do you use art as a way to process trauma or things going on in your life, or how do you see art working in that?
I strongly believe that art and being creative is very therapeutic. And even for people that are not confident in painting, or, it doesn't necessarily have to be painting. It could be any form of art, and gluing stuff down and just allowing yourself to disconnect from, social media, negativity, trauma. It just allows you to take a break from all of that. So I truly think that it is therapeutic, and I have used it a few times. I do some school art programs where I go into various schools and teach art programs, and a lot of the schools that I go into are a bit more isolated communities. I did sign a contract with the school division that I graduated from, and a lot of their schools are on reserves, tribal land. And I go into classrooms, and it's a nice way to allow kids to put their feelings down on canvas, or, just they don't realize that they've been painting for an hour and a half, and they're just completely submerged in what we're doing. And it's therapy. It really is. It's nice to see. And some people find a talent that they didn't know was inside of them. And it's a beautiful thing to see, for sure.
Yeah, I like that when you get into something you love, like involved in art, and time kind of disappears. And like you said, suddenly it's been an hour and a half, and how did that happen? And that's really neat when that you get into that zone. Can you say something about your process? Like, when you work on art, do you set aside a large amount of time? Do you like to work in the mornings? Do you is it seasonal? Can you just say a little bit about sort of the process of your artwork?
Yeah, for sure. So it's, I try not to put the pressure on myself of saying it has to be during the day or at night, when, it's about making the time. I believe, nowadays it's, we're so busy with life and kids and practices and, paying the bills and all that stuff. It's making the time and taking the time out for yourself. And for me, that's my artwork is, like I said, it's a form of therapy and taking the time out for myself. It's really hard for me to describe how a dream or a vision of what I see and then what shows up on the canvas when I'm done. It might be, like I said, there's childhood memories or special spots that I visited. Maybe it was a moment that I shared with a loved one and where we were at that exact moment. And the colors, I guess I gravitate to particular colors, I guess, that are my favorites, but it also possibly indicates a mood I'm in as well. What colors decide to that I blend together, mix. You'll see my pieces there at the exhibit have a lot of flowiness to them in the sky. There's a lot of, like, in the water, in the sky, there's a lot of flowiness in the image. And it's maybe just telling myself to relax, and that's what comes out when I'm painting, and it just kind of all flows and comes out.
Cool.
So we know you paint. Do you create other art? What are some other?
You know what? I have a lot of fun with all sorts of stuff. Of course, I favor acrylic painting. That's part of my collection and what's on the website. But I do a lot of pencil sketching as well. and I do some airbrushing. I've done some creative stuff painting on skulls, deer skulls, antlers. I've done a couple goalie helmets, and I've done some saw blades. And so basically it's helping people bring a treasured memory to life. And I have that quote on my website, is bringing treasured memories to life. So if somebody comes to me, and I've done some pieces where it was might have been a saw blade or something that was just in the family for years, or it was something that it was at the family homestead, and they want the old house, great grandparents' house, or the barn or something painted on it because it's a treasured memory. So I've done quite a few pieces like that, and pencil portraits. I do love Halloween and costume designing, and using hot glue and playing with feathers and buttons and face paint and all sorts of stuff like that. So I think that's just the creative side of me, and having fun outside of acrylic painting and other stuff, whether it's even decorating the yard for the season or creating a wreath, or I enjoy it all.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of your services that you offer? So I know you work with kids in schools. At times you've got your Moon and Back store. You teach, you have some painting classes. Just tell us a little bit of the different things you offer.
For sure. So of course the ultimate goal is to eventually operate out of a studio and gallery where everything could be on display full time, right? But building up to that, I do a lot of school art programs, and I appreciate working with the kids and being able to show them little tips and allowing them to have fun with it. I've done paint and sip nights for adults, and I've gone into various businesses, the Hampton here in Warroad, the brewery, various community halls and legions where, community members just want to get out and do something different. A lot of holiday paint sessions, the ladies tend to like to create some decor. So we've done some Christmas paintings on canvases and things like that. And then I have my website. So I have taught myself how to design various product pieces. So that's a whole other piece to my business. And I get to design pillows, luxury throw pillows, cups, handbags, tote bags, greeting cards. So that's a lot of fun too. And then the custom art side of things, taking orders when I can and helping people create gifts for loved ones. And it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Okay. And then you have some artwork there with you that you've used for some classes. Can you show us a few of those?
Yeah, for sure. So these pieces are what I have with me right now. And these are pieces that I've done some of those school art programs with. So this is like a step-by-step is what I would bring in. And I've done these paintings with all age groups, right from little ones to adults. And the beauty about some of these programs is they can be family events where parents and the kids both come out and we all paint the exact same picture together. And the really interesting thing is everyone's painting the exact same picture, but they're all so different. It's so fun. So these are all step-by-step paintings that I've done with various groups within the community at the school. Here's a culture-based painting that I did in one of the schools. And it was with a group of young girls that wanted to commemorate the murdered missing Indigenous women and girls. So I come up with a design and think of, I guess, the concept or the process of what will be easy for them, or because I like each painter to feel successful after the workshop and completing. So my goal, I guess, in all the workshops that I've done and painting sessions is having everyone complete a piece, the piece that we're working on. And over my few years and umpteen hundred people that I've been able to influence and share my artwork with and do these sessions, I might have had a couple that that didn't complete. So
Okay.
Can you say how many pieces of work you have in the exhibit, and are they for sale?
oh gosh, I think there is, Trey, you can correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong. I believe, is there
11.
11 pieces?
Yeah.
Okay, and they're all for sale, I believe. Yes, they are. I had to kind of remember which ones I took to.
Except the hockey stick.
Oh, right. The hockey stick is not for sale, but there is pieces available on my website. That original one is belongs to me, but yes.
Sure. Do you want to talk about the hockey stick? You haven't talked about that during this yet, right?
No, you know what? I kind of forgot to mention part of that being, you know, I won a contest in Canada to create artwork on a hockey stick for the Women's World Championships in Brampton, Ontario, 3 years ago now. And it was a call for artists, and a lot of my friends and family kept sending me the information on social media. And I thought, okay, well, I'll look at the deadline, the criteria, and you know, what have I got to lose? So I submitted, I think, three designs to them, and one of the pieces were chosen. And I was one of 5 artists that were chosen from across Canada. So I got to go down and partake in the event and watch a hockey game and go out on the ice and present my hockey stick. And it was really cool. I got to present my stick to Amanda Kessel, who was, that was the US Czech game that I got to watch, and she was the player of the game. So it was a very fun and exciting, very rewarding time in my career as an artist.
Yeah, it's so cool. And there's at the galleries you can see the hockey stick, and then you can see there's a plaque and a write-up about it. So it's really fascinating. Yeah, and just a little bit about the exhibit. So it's titled "Immersed in Color, Inspired by Culture," and Shawna's our featured artist. We do have 4 artists altogether. There's 29 pieces total in the exhibit, and so Shawna has 11 pieces, and then we have artist Joan Kauppi, and she's also an Indigenous artist, and she has some really creative collage artwork to see. And then we have one piece by Candace Sam, who is also an Indigenous artist, and she has it's a beaded piece. And then Therese Jacobson is our 4th artist, all female artist, and Therese, she has a series of portraits in the gallery. And we do have a reception coming up. Our reception is going to be Thursday evening, November 21st. And that's from 5:30 to 7:30. And the way receptions work, you can show up anytime during that 2-hour period. We'll have drinks and snacks. And Shawna, I know you said you could be there, so that will be great. And so we're looking forward to that. And then the exhibit will actually end. Got my calendar here. It will actually. The last full day will be Monday, the 25th. And then we'll be taking it down on the following day, Tuesday, the 26th. So if you haven't been to the exhibit, please try to get out there. And if you can make it to the reception, that would be awesome. And then Kristin, can you say a little bit about how you create this online version?
Oh, sure. The video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we have an exhibit, just a little history, I used to do it for our annual exhibit, and then when COVID hit and we had exhibits up and no one could go to them, I've started creating a video of all of our exhibits. So we have photos of every piece in the exhibit and I put it together. So it's like a virtual walkthrough of the exhibit. So if you can't make it to Thief River, you can go online and watch the video and see all the pieces, so you don't miss out. It's better in person. It's always better in person. But it's
yeah, you
nice
add a little soundtrack to it and
Yeah.
make it. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say one thing. The reception is free and everyone is
Yes.
welcome, just to mention that.
Yep.
And I also want to ask Shawna, do you do commissions at all?
Yes, I do. That's part of, my business, custom art. So it's, whatever anyone brings to me, if I have the time, and definitely.
And if people want to contact you, what's the best way to do that?
You know what? You can contact me through my website, and there is a email contact page on there, and it's moonandbackcustomarts.com. And there you can find a page that has contact me, and it's emailed right to me. And I normally respond as within a couple days.
Okay, great. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say that we didn't ask you?
You know what? I just want to say thank you for this wonderful opportunity. It's all about growth as an artist and experiencing all these new things. And this is one of my very first gallery showings. So I'm very excited and very proud of that.
Yeah, good. It's a great exhibit, and I'm so happy you can be a part of it. And yeah, and I forgot to mention, just for everyone out there, it's at Northland Community and Technical College. You can park in the front of the college and enter door B, as in boy. And you walk in, the gallery is immediately to your right. And it's open during college business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, I believe. And then it's usually open during other events like sporting events, or community events that are held at the college. And so, I hope everyone can stop by and take a look.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. And if you think of questions for Shawna afterwards, reach out to her or reach out to us, and we can get them to Shawna and get your questions answered. So I'll end this live broadcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.